Welcome back to another episode of Finding Gratitude. Now, I know I've been MIA for a little while. It's probably been like 3 months and maybe like 2 weeks. So, whatever that many weeks that makes. It makes about 14 weeks, 14 to 15 weeks that I've actually been MIA. Now, I mean, this might be a bit. I might be a bit awkward at the beginning. It might take me some time to get used to it because I know I did it for I think I did it for like 4 months, man, and then I had a little break. I think my break went for 3 months, and you know what? Like, I think it's time for me to come back because I get like I kind of got lost. I like to say that I got lost in the sauce a little bit. I kind of went, I guess, off track with my intentions towards this podcast, and just recently, I started to remember. Man, most of the time it's like, fuck, how many times do we have to forget to remember? And I might do another episode just talking about that. But yeah, like I kind of got lost in the sauce for a little bit, for 3 months. But yeah, things came back, and I remembered, man, that anything that I do, that's always like affirmation, or there's always like a mantra behind it, and it's always been famous words from also. I think it's Aubrey Marcus who I heard it from. And he says, he tries to do everything para el bien de todos, which is obviously in Spanish, but it means for the good of all. So just remembering back why I'm kind of do anything, and it's not just for me; it's for the good of everyone. So decided to come back, do the podcast, and yeah, like man, where where do I even catch you guys up? It's been a little while since I've done this, so like I said, if I'm a bit awkward or weird at the beginning, it's gonna maybe take me some time to get back into it. But I'm ready, man. I'm keen to get back into it. I'm keen to speak my shit. I'm keen to talk a bit of smack, and at the same time, hopefully talk about topics that people are out there are experiencing in one way or another. And we can relay, and you don't get too lost. Uh, you don't get too lost thinking that you're the only person experiencing problems like this, where it's like, wait, we all do. And you know what? At the end of the day, if I can share some stories which helps you, which benefit you, then we are all winning and in the end. So, but man, so look, I'm just looking back at my notes from what I wanted to talk about. The last thing, or the first thing that I had written down to talk about this podcast. Now, this is from like 3 months ago, though. So I had just come back from EFF, which is a festival, which is a Dorf, and it is Earth Frequency Festival. So I had come back. I wanted to talk about my experiences there, and also about holding space for people. It's pretty crazy, right? So I was at Earth Frequency, and I think I got there like Thursday, and I was there till like Monday. So I was there like 4 or 5 days, and it's a festival. It's a Dorf. It's in the middle of almost nowhere. I think it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Gold Coast, maybe an hour from Brisbane. So I think it was on the Friday night festival starts. I think we camped there. I think I got there Friday. I can't remember, man. It was 3 months ago, 4 months, almost 4 months ago, and crazy shit. Friday night, we ran into this girl that was kind of camping near us, and she had just hurt her leg or rolled her ankle or something. So she was massaging it with one of those like guns. I can't remember what the specific names for it, but you know what I'm talking about. Those guns that just massages you, I guess, in a sense. I keep thinking of terror guns, but they're not called terror guns. Something guns. But anyways, we ran into her. She was in a van, and was kind of upset because she was in pain and whatnot. And she, I've I don't think I've ever actually spoken to her, so I was kind of reserved. I was just listening to two of my mates talk to her, and she starts talking about how she's also actually she didn't. She was just talking about how she was in pain and whatnot, and I don't know where I was just like, "Are you okay?" Obviously she wasn't okay, right? Because she was in pain because she had rolled her ankle. But for some reason, I was just like, "Are you okay?" I didn't say anything else before that. I just asked that question, and as I asked that question, just right after it, man, like she just broke down. She started to cry, and she brought up stuff that she's been dealing with at the moment, and it's mainly be to do with her mom passing. I think maybe like a couple months ago or just recently. So she was still dealing with a lot of that because she felt like she didn't get to say goodbye to her mom properly. So, but yeah, so she started crying, and then my two mates started to, talk to her, console her, I guess. And yeah, I didn't take much of it from that day. I was like, okay, I obviously asked the question, and I don't know what it was about the question, but it just, she broke down. That was a Friday, and then on the Saturday, I was hanging out with my other friend, which I've talked to. So it wasn't kind of the same relationship that I kind of had with this girl, which I think just met that weekend, but I hadn't really spoken to her as much. But anyway, so I was actually with my other friend, and this would be on the Saturday night, and she had just recently come back from a ayahuasca ceremony, and I'm pretty sure I got there on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, we hanged out, we talked. I didn't really bring it up, but I was curious. I was intrigued onto how her ayahuasca experience was. Because first of all, like doing it in Australia, I think was the first time, and yeah, I just wanted to know, like what did you experience? What did you find out? But so on that Saturday. I remember we were looking for like we kind of now there's vaguely reception at this festival, so that's dwarfs. So you kind of have radios, and if you lose someone, then you kind of have to go back to your tent, or you call them up on the radios and try to find them. And sometimes it's really hard. So we kind of lost her partner. We kind of were looking for her partner for a little bit, maybe an hour and a half. And we're like, okay, you know what? Like, let's just go back to camp, chill out for a little bit, and we'll see what happens. And so we went back to camp, and again, out of nowhere, I was just like, okay, I think it's time I ask her how her ayahuasca experience went. And pretty much as I asked, after I asked, um, who knows what happened, but she she went back to her ayahuasca experience. So me asking her that question kind of like sent her to this place, I guess, where she had gone to when she took the ayahuasca. So at points now, I vaguely remember. I'm not really the best at remembering things, but man, like I asked her this question 2 minutes in, she kind of like passes out. Now, if you've smoked DMT, you kind of know when you break through, you kind of pass out. And it's like falling asleep, right? You're essentially going into a dream, but sometimes you're conscious about it. So you're like you're kind of like aware where you are, but then you pass out, so you go to sleep. Now, same thing happened to her. So she was just like she was sitting down, but then she just started to lie down, and then she just lied down. We were inside the van that I was currently. Oh no, I wasn't staying in the van, but I was inside my van, my mate's van, and she passes out on me with her eyes kind of opened. At the beginning, I kind of got a little bit worried because I'm like, I don't know what to do in this situation. Like, yeah, I have been around people that have taken, I guess, psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms, LSD, DMT, and all that. But just to be coherent, because obviously during those times, most of the times I'm also taking those substances. But this time I was coherent, and just seeing her pass out right in front of me, I was just like, oh shit, have I like I was worried probably for like a minute or even just a couple seconds that I was gonna lose her somehow. You know what I mean? And like, how do I bring it back from her experience? And I was like kind of worried, kind of. I got a little bit scared for a little bit, but then I guess at the end of the day, I always know everything's gonna be all good. Like it's just your brain goes to some places for like a split second where she's like, I'm a bit worried, but then it's just like, no way, like everything's under control. Like I've got just I guess just belief, right? Just believing in yourself enough that you're gonna like everything is gonna be okay, in a sense. But 5-10 minutes, she was passed out, and then she opens her eyes, and then she's like, "Hold my hand," and I was just like, "Oh shit, okay." So I hold her hand, and I guess I kind of helped her come back into real world. I mean, into this world. So, but yeah, so Friday I asked this question. This girl breaks down. Saturday I asked my friend this question and sends it back to her back to her ayahuasca experience. She came back maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour after, and she was like, "Oh my god, thank you for being there and like holding my hand because some of this these psychedelic experiences that you get when you take these sort of substances, specifically psychedelics, they can be quite scary, right? And they're scary because you're pretty much sent into the unknown, and the unknown obviously is scary because you've never been to these places, and you're kind of like worried that you might not come back, or you just just so many thoughts come up to your head. So she was kind of like worried for a second, but I was there to guide her in a sense. I'm not too sure if I was guiding her, but just help her to come back to this reality without kind of like losing herself in the trip at all. Um, and then I was just like, after that, I was just like, okay, something's fucking going on. Like, attempt to like ask people these questions, and things are happening, man. And then on the Sunday, I guess everything happens in threes, right? And on the Sunday, I find myself with a mate as well. I'm not going to be mentioning names because I don't want to be, maybe they don't want me to be talking about this stuff, so I won't mention the names, so no one really knows what they who they are, I guess. But 100% this is actually happening or has happened. So, and then on Sunday, again, I was just with a friend. It was around midday, and we went around, walked around. It was just me and him. Walked around the festival, looking for a few mates and whatnot. And I'm like, hey, I'm hungry. I'm gonna get something to eat. So we get something to eat, and then we're just talking. I was trying to find out more about him because the first time I met him, he was camping with us. And then I just asked him, and I'm like, how are you? And he breaks down on me and just tells me that he's kind of struggling a little bit because he had just recently broken up with his missus for that was going and they were going out for so many years, and it felt like he was losing, I guess, not like possession, but I guess the battle that he was faced with, which is obviously the breakup and all that stuff. So it was kind of like not doing too well, but me asking him this question again breaks down. He starts to get teary, tells me about everything, and then I was holding space for these people. I guess those three people that I asked those questions. I guess I just hold space, and and it's crazy because that's what happened like almost 4 months ago, right? And then from then, my friends were like, "Bro, like you should probably tune into this and." If it's like your calling or if it's something that you can tap into and maybe help and hold space for people, maybe you should focus on that and see what you can actually bring up from it, or like what I can do with it. And just thinking about it now, man, and just looking back at my previous podcast, even when I've had other guests, they've always kind of been like they feel really comfortable opening up and talking to me about stuff. So it's like I'm pretty good, I guess, at holding space for people, and I make them feel so comfortable that they can just talk about anything, I guess. And just a couple days ago, I recorded an episode with my friends, so I'm kind of like cheating at the moment because this episode will come out before the episode with my friend Matt Vella, which will come out next week. But he just also made like kind of reminded me that yeah, like pretty much the same thing because I was asking him a few questions. Yeah, I hadn't seen him, in a couple years, and when I have seen him, our conversations have always been about filmmaking, because he's also a filmmaker. He's really talented director who has directed a few films. There's a short one coming out. Oh, he's got a short coming out, pretty much next week when the episode gets released. And when he came on, I was like, I don't really know too much on what to talk about, but I did some research, went on his Instagram, and I looked at topics, I guess, to talk about. But he like the conversations that we had went pretty deep, man. We talked about a lot about his depression, and yeah, just from that, it just reminded me about Earth frequency and just having the power to hold space for people, man. I'm just like, fuck, is this something I should tap into more and like work with this? And I think, I think I might. I think I might. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I think I might. there was a post that I shared on my Instagram just recently, which talked about like integrating your psychedelic experience and holding like integration circles. And I was like, is there any integration circles here in Australia? Now I know my friend from Queensland. She's able to do that as well. She's able to do the integration circles. So at least I know one person that does it in Queensland, but is there anyone in Sydney that does it? Is that something I should probably start doing? I don't know, man. I really don't know. This is the questions that I've been asking myself just recently, because again, it always goes back to for the good of all, like para el bien de todos, man. Like literally, that's why I do anything anymore. It's just for the good of all. And but yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about, I guess, with my elements, not elements, Earth Frequency Festival, because that was my experience and the holding space and everything. Um, Now, the other topic that I wanted to talk about was I I really wanted to feel like I feel like I I wanted to feel when I feel like, but I feel like I disconnected from my own feelings for a little while, and I think it all comes from just going through cancer and going through, I guess, all of that, because I don't know if I've spoken much about this previously, but just going through cancer, I guess I became depressed. I became sad a lot of the time, because pretty much all I could think of majority of the time was how upset everyone was gonna be if I was to die. My friends, my family, especially my family, and just seeing, like my parents just be so upset if I was to die, and that got me so much. Like some days I wake up, that's all I could think of, and I'll just be like, I need to stop thinking about this. And the only way that I could see myself to get rid of those thoughts was to stop feeling, because I was like, okay, like I feel and I care about these people so much that every time that I think about me dying, all I can see is the pain that I'm bringing to them. So it was like, how do I get rid of this, right? How do I stop, feeling like this, so I can actually start feeling good and, in a sense, start healing myself, Because if I'm worrying and if I'm being upset majority of the time, how is the healing meant to start if I'm not in the right mind frame? Because essentially, man, like if you think about um what is it, our body? No, if you think about biology as in like being the software um of our, pretty much, I guess, of our computer, which is our body, or which is our brain, right? So if we can upgrade that software, then bro, amazing shit can happen. So anyway, so it was like, how do I get rid of these thoughts? How do I stop being sad? And yeah, the only way that I knew, or the only thing that came up at that time, was just, you got to stop feeling. So I kind of started pushing people away. My friends that would text me, I wouldn't reply to them. I eventually turned off my phone, and so that no one could contact me. I remember if anyone wanted to contact me, they had to get in contact with my mom, and then mom would just speak to me, tell me about stuff. So yeah, I was pretty much uncontactable. I kind of shut off my emotions. I tried to not to feel, and I think pretty much, not being able to feel, kind of, I guess, day by day I started to just get happier, in a sense, because I stopped thinking about that stuff. And I think from that, though, it's put me into a place where I can't feel anymore. So even when it's just a relationship with a new friend, they'll talk to me, they'll start messaging me, and then I just push them away by just not replying. So it was something I definitely wanted to work on. Just earlier this year, I wanted to start feeling again, and I wanted to express my emotions, right? And by doing the guided meditations, and by doing the dropping sessions with my friend as well, yeah, like, she made me realize that I needed to express how I feel more. So I was like, cool. I started writing my journal. You know, I want to express myself more, and I got into a bit of a situation, I guess, where I started to have some feelings for a girl, and I was like, okay, this is perfect, because I want to start feeling, and I need to show. my emotions. I need to open up. I need to be more vocal about my emotions. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna tell this girl that I like her, and I, it's funny because I was reading back my journal, and I even write like, I just want to feel, and I don't care if the feeling that I get from opening up is is somewhat negative. If it makes me upset or if it makes me happy, whatever the outcome may be, I just wanted to feel. So I put myself out there. I told this girl how I felt, and at the time, I guess I don't know if it's timing, whatever you want to call it, but she was already in a different relationship, and yeah, like things were not going to work out. Now I don't know if if she was in a relationship, things could have happened. I have no idea. I didn't follow it up. I was just like, I'm just going to be honest. This is how I feel. Boom. And yeah, I guess I like how I wrote on my journal. Like I don't care if the feelings that I'm gonna get is gonna upset me, but I just wanted to start to feel again. So I did that. Obviously, I was upset because sometimes it's very hard to not have expectations of things, right? So I guess I would have like I guess I kind of was expecting something else of the situation, and obviously that didn't happen. So because of that, there's a quote that says, "No expectations, no disappointment." So my expectations were there. Obviously, my expectations weren't met. So I kind of got upset. I tried to have a little cry, and I couldn't. I couldn't, and I went into meditation, being like, "Hey, this is me feeling again. Why can't I cry when I know that I'm upset?" And I don't know, man. It just like within my meditation, something came up, and it was just like you get the most emotional when it's other people, not when it's you as much. So then I know that there's still a lot of more work for me to do to open up, express my feelings, but I guess I'll talk about it. But the reason why I was also more upset, I guess, having the expectations and getting disappointment that the expectations weren't met. But the other thing is also that 2 years ago I was experiencing similar feelings, different girl, and I opened up myself and I told this girl how I felt. Same thing though. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my like. I don't know. Maybe I just like girls that don't like me back. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Well, this other girl that I told her that I liked it 2 years ago, she was also in a relationship. So it was like, I'm in a relationship, and I don't follow through to ask because I probably don't have the balls to know. So I don't follow through and ask, if you weren't in a relationship, could have worked out. I didn't ask. I don't know. But yeah, so and then this year, I open up, I tell this girl that I like her, and the same thing. I kind of get rejected because she's already in a different relationship. Now, there's a few things that I start to question myself about this because it's like, am I only liking girls that I know are not available? Because I know the answer is always going to be a negative one, right? So then I know that um, nothing's gonna grow, nothing's gonna happen because obviously they're already in a relationship, they're not available. So even if I was to tell them that I like them, they're just gonna put me down and turn me away anyway. So because I guess the main thing that plays in my head, which I know I need to work on, is that I'm more worried about hurting the person I fall in love with. And it goes back to again me facing me going through cancer because I don't want the person that I fall in love with, that they love me back, and one day I'm just gonna be like, oh shit, cancer's come back, and I'm gonna die, and I don't want to put that whole burden on them. I don't want them to get upset, and I don't want them to go through all that because it just hurts me. And so I think that's why I kind of like girls that are not available because I know nothing's gonna grow up from there. And look, I just wanted to share this because it's something I want to work on, and something that I just recently kind of started to think about was that there's this quote that I heard from Joey Badass, where, and And he says, "What's meant for you won't miss you. What misses you wasn't meant for you." And if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, whatever it may be, you believe on, you should always believe that it's always got your back. It always knows what it's doing for you. So if things don't work out, and this can be applied to any sort of situation that you have an expectation, like you apply for a job and you get interviewed and you're like, fuck yes, I really feel really good about this, I feel like I'm gonna get this job, and then you get turned down. You know you can you can put yourself in a negative headspace because you just feel like you're not worthy or like you're not good enough. And 100% that's how I felt at the beginning, right? I'm like, why don't these girls like me, man? Like, what is wrong with me? And I know that there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, obviously we all have our flaws and whatnot, and yeah, I have some flaws, but it's just the feeling of not being worthy enough that can put you in a downward spiral, and you can get a little bit depressed. But if you always believe that the universe is, or God is always there to help you out, then you know that yeah, this might not work out at the moment, because there's something else better waiting there for, or like waiting there for you. So whether if it's for a role with a job, or even like if you're trying to get a house, or if it could be like a girl that you like or a guy that you like, and you express your feelings, they don't like you back. Yeah, it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm worthy enough. It's their loss or whatever. But if you always go back to remembering that the universe or God has you, then you're not gonna be so upset for so long, I guess. And that's something that resonated with me when I heard that quote. And yeah, I was upset at first, right? But then I started to, and then I even write it on my journal, like, yes, like I'm upset, and I'm hurt because I didn't get what I wanted. But at the same time, I started to just be grateful. And this is funny because I'm finding gratitude. I'm trying to find gratitude, in every situation that happens to us in life. And I started to, be grateful that yes, I've opened up. I'm starting to be more open and express how I feel more. And that means that I'm changing, and I'm changing, for the better of me, which I hope anyway. So just I started to be grateful at it. And that's when I started to get a little bit teary. So I was like, fuck, like I couldn't cry before when I was upset, but me realizing that now I am grateful because I am changing, and, the work that I've been doing, which is me wanting to feel, is starting to come into action, and I'm opening up. And I was just like, fuck, this actually feels really, really good. At the same time, it felt shitty because obviously I didn't get what I wanted, I guess, in my head. You know what I mean? But yeah, like even if it hurts, it is still feelings. And yeah, and then I go touch. I'm just reading what I wrote, and that the universe always has our back. So even if it doesn't work out, it's because there's something better waiting for us out there. So if there's something that I could tell you, is that if there's something that that you really really want, and this also goes back to manifesting, right? Like practicing manifestation, because sometimes, again, you could want something really, really bad, and then you try your hard to manifest it by like having daily affirmations, by just doing meditation, by just putting in the work, like, and then wanting it to happen, and then you're trying to manifest something, and then it doesn't work out, and then you're like, oh fuck, I feel depressed, I feel shit because obviously it didn't work out. You just always got to remember, like you can't forget that the universe or God or whatever it may be will always have your back. So it's gonna be all right at the end of the day, man. You just need to either maybe change the manifestation. Maybe you wanting that role, you wanting that relationship with that person. You could just be like, it's not meant to be, and then change, try to manifest something else, or like, do you know what I mean? But just never forget that God has your back, man. And yeah, God can be the universe. Like it could be anything that you believe in, man. Like I believe that I am a God in myself, and that the universe has my back. So me trying to manifest something, like I kind of been wanting, I guess, to manifest a relationship with a girl, and I have not been able to do it. It's been a while since I shared or expressed love to a specific or to just one female. I think my last relationship, I was seeing someone maybe 2 years ago. It didn't really last long because I have like I have high standards, man. So yeah, I started to see this girl, but my standards are so high that I was like, I don't really like this girl. I feel like I'm just with her because it presented. She came into my life at that point, and she liked me, and I was like, oh, I might as well just give it a go. But I never really like fully liked her, so it could like the relationship was not gonna grow anyway. But yeah, so I think that's what I wanted to talk about that part. Now, the next thing that I wrote was, I am so loved, therefore I can hold a loving space for others, which is maybe one of the reasons why I can hold space for people. Now, one of my secrets, um, people tend to always think that I am such a positive person and I'm such a happy person, which is true, right? Which is true. I am positive. I am happy majority of the time. Sometimes when I wake up, I'm definitely not happy because I'm like, fuck, what am I doing with my life? Like, there's so many questions, what am I doing with my life? I wanted to manifest a relationship. It still hasn't happened yet. Like, and just those thoughts that come to you. So yeah, I try to be positive all the time, but I guess one of my secrets is that I just practice love 24/7, 24/7. What is it, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year. Like, I try to always be grateful. I always try to just love everything. Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself that I love me like 3 times. And whenever I feel like it, I also say that. But it's just practicing love, man. Like, finding love within everything that's happening to you. And I guess that's been my secret because, and the other thing is, like, when shit is it's not great, when life's not that great, I can always think back to when I had a tumor growing in my chest and I couldn't breathe, I couldn't get out of bed, and life was hard. So I can always, I have that perspective of how bad life can be if you don't have a healthy body. So I can always go to that and then be grateful of whatever situation I am now, because I am not that sick anymore. I don't have a tumor growing on my chest, which is, stopping me from being able to live a healthy lifestyle. So I can always go back to that. So I guess that, I mean, I kind of have a little bit of of an advantage. And I guess people that have experienced similar things, like last like couple of days ago when I had my mate, he was in hospital because severe pancreatitis, I think. And that kind of gave him a new perspective in life to be like, fuck. And that's pretty much, I think, why he also released his shot so quick, or not so quick, but the shot was ready like three years ago, and had screenings and whatnot. But he was just waiting for the perfect time, and then he got sick. He was in hospital for a month, and it was like, bro, there's no such thing as perfect timing. Like, I need to do this shit now. So always been able to I mean, I guess I'm lucky in a sense because I've experienced like not being healthy, so I know what it's like. So whenever I'm starting to have a shit day, I can always be like, bro, shit has been worse. So I have that perspective. But yeah, like, I guess that's one of my secrets, right? Like, always trying to find the love in everything, man, and just being self-aware, right? Because yeah, like, me getting rejected in a sense because I told this girl that I liked her. Kind of at the beginning, like I said, I was upset, but then, being self-aware and realizing that, hey, like, okay, yeah, I am upset, but this is kind of what I wanted. I wanted to open up. I wanted to express my feelings so I could start feeling again, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? And I was just like, wait, I'm actually grateful because I did the right thing. I opened up. I shared my feelings. Yeah, I got hurt, but this is what I wanted. This is happening so I could grow. Or like, this is happening because I wanted to experience this, and so I could grow. So that's why I was like, you know what? I turned this negative situation that I was kind of putting myself in into a positive one, and started to be grateful at it. So whatever's happening to you right now, if you can somehow just be grateful that you are actually experiencing life, even though you're not liking what's happening to you, life's not going to be so bad. And then once you start to be grateful about it, you're not going to be so sad anymore. You're not going to be so upset. And then life is going to start changing, man. And then if you start to imply that every single moment of your life, then, there's this quote that says your personality becomes your personal reality. So by having that personality that, yeah, I'm grateful at everything, then everything is starting to it's gonna start to be great. And if you love yourself so much, if you try to wake up every single day, okay, maybe not waking up, but every time you get out of bed with so much love, then amazing things are gonna start to happen for you and the people around you. And then I guess that's why you can start holding space for others, because I'm radiating so much love that people just feel comfortable to open up, especially when I ask them questions. They just feel so comfortable to open up because, yeah, they might not see it, but they can feel the love that I guess I am emitting out of my body 24/7, because I am just trying to be in such a loving state. Now, something that has helped me also get there a lot is been smoking cannabis, man. Because sometimes when you smoke cannabis, you start to become more self-aware, which again, keyword self-aware. Being self-aware of your own reactions to situations has been a key player for the way that I am, and for how my life pretty much plays out to be. Because yeah, I may do something, someone may do something to me, and I know, or like I don't know at the time, but I react, right? We're all fucking human beings, man. We're all gonna react to situations. If things play out not the way that we wanted, we are gonna obviously react most likely in a negative way. So yeah, like if I was to use that example where I kind of open up to a girl and I kind of got rejected, if when you become self-aware enough that you can pull yourself back from how you're feeling, like you know, f- in this given situation, being like, whoa, okay, wait, let's just hold on 1 second. I am feeling sad. Let's start to appreciate why I'm feeling sad. Think about it. Become self-aware. Okay, I'm feeling sad because of this has happened. Cool. Once you become self aware, it's like you can let go of that emotion. You can just be like, cool, okay, this is why I'm feeling sad. And now try to see it in a positive way. Be grateful for what you're feeling again, because, man, most of the time, even for me, right, I'd rather be experiencing whatever may be than being dead, bro, and not experiencing anything at all. Because I guess this is what life is about, experiencing different things. You know what I mean? Life is not always gonna be fucking rainbows and whatnot. Like it's most of the time it is gonna be, if you live a happy life, most of the time it's gonna be like that. But sometimes you're gonna be faced with fucking crazy shit which you don't want to face, situations that you thought could go a little bit better but doesn't go. But the key to all this is just being self-aware and pulling yourself back and be like, this is why I'm reacting this way. Like if you're at work and someone pisses you off, you get so angry, you tell them off, and then 5 minutes later you're like, fuck, I'm so angry, I just want to bash someone, or like, just feel so angry, I want to take it out on someone. Take a few breaths, be self-aware again, step out of your body a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, step back from your mind and be like, hold on, why am I acting like this? Oh, it's because of this happened. Cool. Clear your mind, appreciate, find the gratitude in it. Wow, I like this, like, me being so angry makes me feel so alive. Just try to find the positive in out of it, and then things will change and your life will change, man. And that's what I've been doing lately. Literally trying to be in love with life. And I guess again, it's not hard for me to be in love with life, because I've experienced, extreme where my body was ill, I guess. Terminally ill, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. But, just being so ill that you get so much perspective. You get so much perspective of how beautiful life is, even when things don't go as planned. But you're still healthy, man. Like, and this goes back to, I mean, sorry, and this goes on, I guess, to my next topic, which is I've been trying to live in abundance. I've been trying so hard to live in abundance, and it's been a bit hard for me to live in abundance lately, because I guess one, I don't have too much work, so I'm not making a lot of money in a sense, and I'm not been able to support, like not able to support myself in a way where I could before, where I was just buying anything I wanted. So in that sense, money wise, I I'm not in abundance with money. And the other thing was I'm not in abundance with love. But then, I'm thinking about it the wrong way because I'm thinking about love with just one particular person, and then she has to be a girl when it doesn't have to be like that. I dropped into meditation with my friend a couple of weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, and I wanted to know, like, where does all this love come from, man? Like, does it come from my heart? And dropping into meditation, I couldn't find the answer, but something that, answered me when I went into meditation asking where does this love come from was that love is infinite. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Like, it does not legit matter where it comes from, but it is infinite. So if it's coming from your heart, I know that I have this infinite amount of love to give. So I can always just think about that, and I guess, know that the love that is in my heart is infinite, so it's never gonna run out. But yeah, so like I said, I've been trying to live in abundance, and it's been hard, but little things that I think about when I'm trying to, go into meditation and think about abundance, because I want to live in abundance, because if you live like your prayers have already been answered, most of the time your prayers are going to start to come true, because you're kind of like stepping into that reality, because you're creating it from your brain already and starting to feel that, because your brain doesn't know what's real or not, if the experiencing that you're experiencing is actually happening or not, because you can just tell your brain, yes, I'm experiencing it, and your brain's going to start firing things, man. It's going to start to send all these different chemicals to your body and stuff, because it's literally thinking that you are experiencing those things. But yes, I'm trying to do that. Let me just go back to the little points that I want to talk about. The path of healing is helping me become a healer myself. Right, that is true, right? Because I feel like I'm able to hold space for some people. I'm trying to constantly heal myself, and I guess by me saying heal myself, I'm also trying to grow as a person. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from me, and by doing so, I can help other people heal as well. I want to help people. I love helping people. Once you actually put in the work to try to live a more abundant life, it's going to help you become happier at life in general, realizing that what I have is plentiful. And it's true, man. Like, bro, fucking every day you wake up, we should be giving thanks, man. One, because we woke up. We could have died in our sleep, or we could have just died somehow. I don't know. But if you wake up, and if you're still breathing, if you got your health, if you still got your loved ones, then bro, that's already so much to be grateful about. You wake up with choices, man. You've got choices to with like what you want to do today. Like, if you try to compare your life to other people who don't have the same stuff that you have, and sometimes we may think that what we've got is not enough, but most of the time what we have is enough for it is enough for what we need at this point in time. Yeah, at some points, we might need and want more. Most of the time, we always want more, but man, we just need to live more abundantly. I've talked a fair bit of what's been going on, and I guess I'll touch on something as well. Now, I have been MIA for the last 4 months. I haven't been doing a podcast, and when I think about that, the main reason is because I've been hanging out a lot with old friends, and also new friends now that I've made in the last couple of months, and it's funny because if I was to listen back to my first podcast, I think 1 to 4. Um, like, I really wanted to, or I wasn't not maybe not really wanted to, but I was thinking about moving to Queensland because I felt like I had connected with people in Queensland better than I have connected with people here in Sydney. And yeah, I have mates, right? I have mates within the industry that I'm in. I have schoolmates and whatnot, but I couldn't share, I couldn't open up, I couldn't talk about the same things that I was able to talk about up in Queensland. So at the beginning of the year, I really wanted to move up there, and I was like, "Fuck, I feel like moving because I'm surrounded with like-minded people, and I can grow, I can heal. There's so much more shit I could do over there." And then if you look at my life now, man, crazy shit, right? As the month progressed from the beginning of the year, I met I met wonderful people, man. I've been able to meet so many nice people this year that are so like my vibe. I've been able to reconnect with friends like from the past that I hadn't seen for like in a little bit, and I wouldn't expect them to be like me or become like me in a sense of the person that I am today. But I guess I kind of show them the light, and some people have been able to I guess they started to heal within themselves, and by healing themselves, I've kind of shown them the love, man. And crazy enough, so like I was reading from here. Yeah, I didn't have like-minded friends here in New South Wales, so I wanted to live in Queensland instead. And I guess what I've done to a few of my mates as well is I show them unconditional love, man. I kind of been trying to show the people that I hang around with was is that love will always win. And when you have so much love in your heart, the universe is going to respond to you. And the way that it responds to you is with like synchronicities. And it's going to, like, things that you've wanting to happen, like trying to manifest, things are going to start to manifest for you, bro. Like, the life's going to be, I mean, the universe is, or God, or whoever it may be, is going to be like, hey, you're doing the right thing. So I got you back. He's synchronicity. So you can be like, fuck, like, something's happening, man. Something's working, and I guess that's what I've been able to do to a few of my mates. Like, I've shown them unconditional love. The love, the energy just radiates through me, almost, I guess, all the time, and that kind of makes me be in a relaxed state. But see, with that, right? I also said at the beginning that I kind of got lost in the sauce for a little bit, and what I mean by that is, but I mean that could be taken so many ways. But what I meant by me getting lost in the sauce was, I guess, in a sense, I've reconnected with old mates, I've made new friends, and in the past 3 months, I've literally been hanging out with them every 2 3 days. And that's where I've been at. So I've kind of lost focus on what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do with this podcast, because I've been hanging out a lot with my mates. I've become a social butterfly, which is, bro, if you listen to the early episodes of this podcast, is exactly what I wanted. I wanted friends around me that I could just hang out with and share stuff with, and tell them about what I'm experiencing, and then they can tell me their own experience about life, and just talk about shit that I like to talk about, whether it be like psychedelics, or whether it be like working out, or just, I guess, growing, just becoming better in every way that we can. And then, yeah, that's what I meant by getting lost in the source. Obviously, there's also some substances involved into that, and yeah, and I guess that's why I also say getting lost in the source. And I actually wanna talk about it in an episode as well, like my findings with my experiences, because I've just been experimenting a lot with a psychedelic, I guess you would call it, which is substance, which is ketamine, and in the US at the moment, they're using ketamine to treat depression, and I'm not gonna say people should do this out there, should try to get this stuff, but this is what I've been doing, right? And I've kind of, like, I guess, almost self-administering ketamine, trying to maybe treat my depression, because I guess we are all depressed some days. We're all depressed somehow, and man, there's some days I do get really depressed. I was like, okay, you know what? And it's always been the thing where I love to experiment, man. I've loved to experiment. I experiment with psilocybin. I've experimented with smoking DMT. Psilocybin is magic mushrooms, and by experimenting, I mean like going deep, man. Like, not doing it recreationally with your friends, like doing it by myself. You know, recording my findings. Yeah, take 2 grams with no food. Okay, and maybe take 3 grams of mushrooms with no food. Let's up it up to four. Let's up it up to five. Do you know what I mean? And then, yeah, with no food, with food, lemon ticket, which is pretty much psilocybin mushrooms with lemon juice. drinking it, the high is much stronger. It's more potent, but it's short lasting. So I love to experiment with this. I love to go in within. It's essentially like meditation, man. And there's this quote that says, you could do meditation, um, but it's like burning your house down to bake a loaf of bread, comparing it to having one psychedelic experience and being able to experience something so beautiful, so profound, which you could also experience if you meditated for like 2 3 years straight, and you finally reach that nirvana, or like that point where you're like, fuck, I'm experiencing beautiful experiences now. Yeah, that might take you 2 3 years to get there just through doing meditation, but you can just have one psychedelic experience and you can get you there as well. So I love to experience with that. I've been doing a lot of experiments with ketamine, and I started to experience it more as well. One, like I said, it was to kind of treat my depression. I have not gone to a GP. I've not gone to a doctor. I've not spoken to a psychologist about my depression or anything like that. But I get mostly depressed when I think about my cancer, and thinking about it's gonna come back and I'm gonna die and everyone's gonna be upset, and that just puts me in a bad mindset where I'm just like, maybe it's just best if I was dead. It gets bad sometimes, right? I don't talk about it. People probably don't think that I experience it, but here and there I get those experiences. So I was like, let's see how ketamine can help. And then the other stuff as well that I've been doing is been researching or just learning so much about what Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, and then he talks about tapping into this field, this quantum field, and the way that you can tap into this quantum field is by doing the meditations or doing guided meditations, because essentially what you're doing is you're quieting your mind, and by quieting your mind, you are becoming so disconnected from yourself, from this world, that that you start to forget about separation. Now, if you start to forget about separation, you kind of get connected to everything, and then once you get connected to everything, that's the quantum field where you can create from. And now, some effects that you get from consuming ketamine is that you get, well, it is a dissociative. So essentially it's used as is essentially used as an anesthetic, right? I guess people, or there's a stigma out there that it's a horse tranquilizer, but it's mainly used for anesthetics, man. For animals, for I think small children, or just local anesthetic. They'll give you some ketamine. Also to treat pain when you're in hospital, they'll also give you some ketamine. But essentially, what ketamine does, because it is a DC no, it's not dissociative. It's dissociative. Probably butchering that word, but essentially you get disconnected from your body, and essentially is what you're doing when you do a guided meditation or when you do a meditation, right? You're kind of getting disconnected from your body, and you're trying to connect to wholeness, to everything. And ketamine is a shocker, and I realized that because I started to experience that, and then I'll probably talk about a whole episode about this, but I was using ketamine and guided meditation together to kind of get so disconnected from this world and being connected to everything, like forgetting separation. And then when you get there, it's like you're so it, I don't know, you just become so powerful. You can get so many downloads from the divine, man. The amount of times where I've just gotten so many downloads from the divine, crazy shit started to happen. I started to read people's, man, I can talk about so much stuff. Like synchronicities started to happen, like too much, like too crazy shit, like so specific, where it's like, I want this to happen, boom, it happens. And we're just like, what the fuck is going on? um Money, even like money stuff, man. I need this amount of money to, I want this amount of money, boom, fucking 2 3 weeks later, somehow that money appears. Just so many synchronicities, man. And it wasn't just started to happen just to me, it started to happen to the people around me. So I think I'm gonna do probably a little bit more, I'm gonna play more around experimental with ketamine and guided meditation, quieting the mind, stepping into the unknown, getting comfortable with the unknown, losing separation, forgetting that separation exists, and think and just remembering that we are so connected to everything, and that everything becomes the divine. And then something that I've also learned throughout the last couple months is that the divine, in a sense, it's also global consciousness, man. And when you can tap into that, this is how I guess you can somewhat read people's minds, because you're tapped into this global consciousness that other people are also tapped into. And then when you're there, you can kind of like pinpoint where to go, and you can pinpoint a specific spot, which could be someone's head, and then you can just read it. It's happened to me maybe once or twice now, and it's been like I just don't ask questions now. Things just happen, crazy shit just happen, and I just don't ask questions. But yeah, so that's probably something that I'll speak more about. But then again, going back to getting lost in the sauce, I guess I was not doing it for growth as much. I was starting to do it as recreational. Like, I was starting to do it recreationally a lot, going out, partying, clubbing, drinking, um, just getting lost, man. Just forgetting about why I started this podcast, forgetting what I'm meant to be doing. And luckily, yeah, like you get lost, but then you get found again, man. So now I'm just like, bro, I need to get back into the like routines that I have. So I'm G'd up to come back, do this podcast again, and just again for the good of all, man. Try to get more guests, try to talk about their experiences with life, with what they've gone through. Put it out there, talk about it. Let's fucking help each other, man. And that's what even a couple days ago when I recorded the episode with my friend was about, man. Just realizing that, wow, like I really hope, by me opening up, because I don't feel comfortable opening up, but I really hope that by me sharing my story, I can help other people as well. And it's just like, bro, this is perfect. This is what's gonna happen. So yeah, man. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about, right? Thoughts of the language of the brain. Thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. Emotional attachment to post trauma. But yeah, man, I think I'll leave it at that. So just to wrap it all up, like I kind of talked about um Earth Frequency Festival. I talked about, me trying to feel, and even though I kind of got upset, felt rejected, I learned that, me opening up, me wanting to feel, I started to feel like I started to feel again. Yeah, the beginning I was kind of upset, but then I was grateful at the fact that I'm actually doing what I wanted to do. I'm actually opening up. So again, just finding, that gratitude in any sort of situation, like finding gratitude, man. Like, and then once you can find the gratitude in any situation you're in, you can start to live more happily. You can start to live more in abundance, and overall, man, just live a happy life, and you start to feel the love within your heart. The people around you will start to feel it as well, man, and it's fucking amazing. Like that's what I've been doing. Some people love hanging out with me. I mean, everyone kind of, I guess, likes hanging around with me, and I don't want to be like, I don't want to be so egotistical where I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm the best, but just love yourself, man. That's pretty much the best thing that I can tell you from me coming back and talking about my stuff, man, on this podcast. Just fucking love yourself, love everything, love your friends, man. Love every situation that is happening to you right now. God, the universe, whatever it may be, they have a bigger plan for you. They know what you're doing. They know what they're doing, whether it's a she, whether it's a he, whether it's a day. They have a plan for you. Always, live in abundance. Always think about the positive things in life, whatever the situation may be, man. And if I was to leave with you with a quote, going back to that quote, which is, "What's meant for you won't miss you. What misses you wasn't meant for you." So don't be so upset if things don't work out the way that you wanted to. No expectations, no disappointment as well, man. Don't have too many big expectations, and things are going to work out the way that you want it to work out. Most of the time things are not going to work out the way that you want it to. And even if it doesn't work out, just know that the universe or God has something better for you out there. So, just just try to live happier, man. And yeah, man, I'm gonna wrap it up at that. I hope me talking about my experiences and how I've been and what I've been doing, you can kind of resonate with a few things. And yeah, man, I hope everyone's having a lovely day or night, whatever time it may be that you're watching or listening to this podcast. And I love you guys, man. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.